Imagine standing across from someone who hasn't spoken in minutes. Their expression is unreadable. Their eyes don't flinch. The air grows heavy with what isn't being said. Your mind starts racing. What are they thinking? What are they planning? Why won't they speak? In that void of words, something primal awakens. Fear. Not the fear of danger, but something more unsettling. The fear of the unknown. Today, we explore the dark psychological truth. Silence isn't empty, it's a weapon. And when wielded correctly, it makes people fear you. Reason 1. The primal brain. Hijack. When confronted with prolonged silence, the human brain doesn't interpret it as peace. It interprets it as a threat. Your amygdala, the ancient fear center, activates. Evolution wired us to associate silence before a predator's attack, before a storm, before danger. Your conscious mind knows you're in a meeting, a conversation, a negotiation. But your primal brain is screaming that something is wrong. The quiet person becomes the potential predator in the room. Reason 2. The human projection machine. Silence is a blank canvas, and the human mind hates blanks. It will immediately begin projecting its own deepest fears, insecurities, and worst-case scenarios onto it. Your silence becomes a mirror for their own psyche. Are you judging them? Plotting against them? Do you know a secret? The terrifying truth is, they're not afraid of your silence. They're afraid of what their own mind creates in that silence. Reason 3. The power equation. Conversation is an exchange, a transaction. You speak, I respond. Power is shared. But silence? Silence is a unilateral move. It breaks the expected social contract. By refusing to participate in the exchange, you seize control of the dynamic. You're no longer a player in their game. You've become the referee. And the one who controls the rules controls the room. Reason 4. The uncertainty principle. Predictability is comfort. When someone talks, they reveal their hand. You understand their emotions, their intentions, their weaknesses. Silence is total unpredictability. It could mean deep contemplation, simmering rage, cold indifference, or strategic calculation. The human brain fears what it cannot categorize, and it cannot categorize a silent person. You become an equation with too many variables. Reason 5. Withholding social fuel. Most people speak to seek validation, agreement, or reaction. When you give them silence, you withhold that social fuel. Their words hang in the air, unacknowledged, unverified. It creates a psychological vacuum. Their need for a response becomes a quiet desperation. In that moment, your silence communicates a devastating message. Your words do not require my response. That is a level of indifference more frightening than any anger. Reason 6. The presumption of competence. In a world of constant noise, silence is atypical. The brain often interprets atypical as elite. Think of the most powerful people in the room. They rarely speak first, or most. Silence becomes associated with observation, analysis, and reserved strength. People fear the quiet professional because they assume competence is at work, and they fear being exposed as less competent. Reason 7. Emotional unknowability. Emotion is expressed through tone, pitch, and pace. Silence strips all of that away. You become emotionally bulletproof. They cannot use your own emotions against you because you aren't showing any. To someone who uses emotional cues to navigate and manipulate, a silent person is a locked door. And nothing is more frightening to a manipulator than a lock they don't have the key to. Reason 8. Ultimate self-containment. Most people's power is external, dependent on others' reactions, approval, or attention. Your silence demonstrates a terrifying form of independence. You are generating your own power internally. You don't need their words, their drama, their validation. You are a closed system. And to the insecure, a self-sufficient person is a threat to the very economy of attention and validation they depend on. Understand this. This is not a guide to manipulation. It is a dissection of power dynamics. Using silence to instill fear is a dark psychological tactic that corrodes relationships and trust. True strength isn't in making others fear you, but in possessing this power and choosing when not to use it. Use this understanding to recognize when silence is being weaponized against you. Use it to cultivate your own quiet confidence, not to inspire terror. The most powerful person is not the one who makes others fear their silence, but the one whose silence comes from a place of unshakable peace and self-control. If you want to delve deeper into the psychology of power, attraction, and the human shadow, subscribe. Hit the bell so you don't miss when we pull back the curtain on another hidden mechanism of the mind. Remember, knowledge is power, but ethics are what make that power honorable. The mind is the most attractive feature you can cultivate. If you're ready to unlock more of its secrets, subscribe.